Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another cracking episode of The Hidden Agenda. I am Tony.
I'm Thanasi.
And in a difference to every other episode, we have no show for you today.
Yes, no.
No, just kidding. There's a show. It's going to be great. So jump on board and let's find out how wrong my co-host is.
I think you'll find the only person that's wrong here is you.
No. So,
yeah, okay.
Topic the first. Now, I've been taught you shouldn't judge. Don't judge lest ye yourself be judged.
Okay.
This is, my parents were very big on teaching me not to judge.
Yep.
And I mean, this is demonstrated to me quite strongly when we saw once we were walking down the street, me, my mother, and my father, and a car zoomed past the street.
Yep.
Way faster than the speed limit. And then about 5 minutes later, we saw it zoom back in the other direction. And my mother called the driver a dickhead.
Right.
To which my father said, "Hey, we don't know. For all we know, his child has been kidnapped and he has to make it from payphone to payphone to meet the ransomer's demands in time."
That sounds like your old man.
We don't know.
I've never even met the guy, but that sounds like your old man.
So you don't judge.
No.
But there is one place you have to judge.
Ooh, this will be interesting.
It is the aisle seat on trams. When you sit on a tram and an oldish person gets on, you're looking at them going, do I offer them my seat? Are they old enough? Are they pregnant enough? Are they injured enough? It's just this weird sort of spot in society where you have to look at people and be sort of superficial. Oh, they're doddering a bit. I'm going to
They need the seat. They need the seat.
They need the seat. And I don't like this. It's weird to me. Whenever I sit down on an aisle seat on a tram, it's like, okay, I have a special duty now to judge people as they get on the tram and ascertain how worthy they are of sitting in the seat that I am currently sitting in.
You're absolutely right. I think the prospect that terrifies me the most is, you see that little sticker, right? It's got the old person with the walking stick. It's got the amputee.
The wording on the sticker is on request.
On request, yeah.
So
you don't have to give it up unless someone asks you to.
Exactly, but I feel like that's what the sticker says. And then there's
you would absolutely get booked for not giving an old person or a pregnant woman or something a seat. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also weird that when I'm sitting on an aisle seat or that seat, I can't read a book. I can't play a Game Boy. I have to keep my
constant vigilance. Yeah, constant vigilance.
Constant judgment.
Yeah.
Judging people as they come on. I remember I was on a tram once and there was a group of old people. They got on and they stood near me and I offered my seat to one, like the lady on the edge of that group.
Yeah.
I said, "Would you like my chair?" She said, "No, I'm fine." So I sat down and I heard one of the guys turn to the other person, the guy, and said, in my day, young people would give up their chair for older folks.
Did you engage them?
Well, no, that lady I offered to jumped to my defense.
Oh, nice.
And she said, no, he did offer. And the guy was very apologetic to me and said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realise." And then another old guy he was standing next to leaned down to me and said, "No, I'm with you, mate. Fuck him."
Just straight up.
Yeah. It was a very interesting time. But I do have this other, like, whenever if I'm sitting on a window seat, I suddenly feel like all responsibility is unless there's an old person sitting next to me on the aisle.
In which case yours becomes the priority seat.
But if I'm sitting next to someone, my age or so, it's like
it should be them. It should absolutely be them.
I zone out.
Yeah.
The onus is on you now.
Nobody's getting up from a window seat to let an old person try and push past somebody sitting in an aisle seat. Nobody's doing that. Yeah.
But that's why I always like getting the window seat. You're sort of comfortably tucked away in your own little privilege.
You're absolved
bubble.
of responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird that we have a spot in society where judging is essential.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to judge.
Yeah, you got no choice.
I don't want to judge.
No.
I want the answer. I don't want... I suppose other areas in society where judging is essential is, there's 3 chairs in singing competitions.
Yeah.
Judging is essential.
Yeah.
Judges in general, judges' chairs, you have to judge.
Yeah.
But the one that we're all likely to stumble on is the aisle seat.
The aisle seat. Yeah, that's also a judging seat.
So you could say, don't judge unless you're in a judge's seat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the aisle seat on a tram, train, bus, or any form of public transport is a judging seat.
It's a judging seat.
Yeah, it has to by the fucking law, kind of thing. You're making me judge people.
Yeah. I have to judge.
I don't want to do it, but you're making me do it, so I will.
I don't want to assess the mobility of this.
No, I have no qualification to assess the mobility of this man that's just gotten on the tram.
Yeah,
right. I'm not a doctor. I can't do it. Right. I can do a cursory job at best.
Oh, you know what? It'd be tough. You're in a seat, right? Two kind of oldest looking men get on. You have to offer to one of them. Now you're comparing this. Oh, he's got a bit more of a limp than that guy.
Wouldn't you just choose randomly? I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
I mean, but if you chose the guy who made it to you first, that's kind of wrong.
That's kind of wrong because
it seems like he's a bit more mobile than the guy who's straggling behind.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
but to the victor go the spoils.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
he got there first. Yeah. He's also, slightly, he's also having difficulty, but he made the effort. He got to me first.
No, okay. So here's what would happen, right? Yeah. He got to you first. You give up your chair. He sits down. Guy number
other
two
guy
comes
goes and
up,
asks him to stand up.
Excuse me, I'm a bit more older and decrepit than you. Can I have this chair? Yeah, I suppose you are a bit more older.
Your hands are clean.
Meanwhile, the 20-something on the window seat is just gleefully like, "Fuck yes, I got a window seat. Don't have to deal with this shit."
I have an interesting problem with this in that. Years ago I was sort of quite heavy myself, and so I've got problems with my knees and my back. And I actually have, particularly when I used to live down in the suburbs, like way out in the suburbs and work in the city, and I would spend, 45, 50, sometimes an hour on a train. But after 10 minutes of standing up, I suffer quite bad back pain. And so, but I have no external appearance of having any kind of problem. Right, so, and, I'm sort of in my 20s kind of thing. So the natural thing for someone older or whatever to do is to ask me to stand up. I can't say I've got a bad back because I don't look like I've got a bad back, So I have to stand up and give my seat up and then sit there in agony for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. And I can't win. That situation, there's nothing I can do.
No.
Yeah.
Except look older. You should come up with prosthetics.
I actually genuinely, and this is an indictment on my personality. That's definitely not a good thing. I genuinely, and I'm going to tell everyone this, but I genuinely considered buying one of those moon boots just to wear on the train. So that I could hobble onto the train wearing this moon boot. And always have a seat.
That's just like as bad as, buying crutches. Or...
Yeah, well, that was my second option.
Oh, man.
I didn't do it, which is a positive. But it did cross my mind, and I did seriously consider it for a period of time. I would say a matter of days or even weeks. There was a point where I was on the cusp of buying a moon boot just so that I could always have a seat on the train. The reason I didn't do it in the end was because I felt like even though probably nobody would actually bother with me, if I got to Flinders Street, jumped off, immediately ripped the moon boot off and walked off just fine, one day somebody would be like, dude, what the fuck?
Well, exactly. When do you switch out of that charade?
Do I go into a bathroom, wait 10 minutes to make sure the people that are on the train with me have cleared the station, then take the moon boot off and walk out? What happens if I run into somebody I work with on the train?
How compactable is a moon boot anyway?
Not particularly.
So you're just walking down the street with a moon boot under your arm?
Yeah, it was the practicality that ruined it for me. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't the ethical questionability. The ethical dubiousness was not the problem. Right. It was the fact that it was impractical.
Right.
I guess that makes me a piece of shit. Reduced slightly by the fact that I didn't end up doing it, then further increased by the fact that the only reason I didn't is because I couldn't be bothered. Yeah.
A lazy piece of shit.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. So, topic number 2. I was listening to... I was listening to the radio the other day, some standard top 40s type stuff. And it occurred to me that I'm not a huge fan of sort of modern pop music for reasons we've spoken about before, but also for another reason, is that it doesn't seem particularly creative in a lot of instances, fairly mainstream music. is kind of missing something. It feels a lot more like a manufactured product than I feel like it used to, maybe. I could be completely wrong about that. But I was thinking there's a very simple solution to this. And this is the topic.
Yes.
Is that more mainstream modern musicians should just take more drugs.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the difference. Is that Ozzy and those blokes back then just did a shitload of acid before they wrote their music, or whatever it is they did. Jimmy was just fucking smoking back-to-back cones and sleeping pills, you know.
I think you're confusing correlation with causation.
I definitely am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think... I'm personally... and there is a contingent of people who say drugs make the artist.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't do drugs.
Sure.
And I come up with some weird shit.
That's true.
So
that's true for me as well. But I think there's a difference between weird and creative, though.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it's more corporate. Rather than
put the drugs into the musicians, take the corporate out of the musicians. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what I'm looking for.
I think that would be more the direction you want to go.
But yeah, no, it sort of struck me that it doesn't, like, nobody does anything strange anymore. Nobody does anything kind of like wacky and out there. And it's like, or they do, but they're not anyone's ever heard of.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's plenty of cooked music still coming out, but, you know, it's not something anyone's ever heard of. You know, in the 1970s, you could reasonably expect to go up to someone and be like, hey, have you heard the latest Black Sabbath album? You know, there was some real cool stuff on it, whatever.
Yeah.
I think whereas these days, if you're listening to music that's that level of like creative or whatever, it's just like some fucking neckbeardy weirdo in the corner of the room that isn't enjoying the party because the music sucks and his feet hurt, kind of thing. And that's the guy you can talk to about Les Claypool or Slint or fucking whatever, you know?
I think it's now also, it's just the choices.
Yeah,
the access
there's
is
so
blown
much
open.
more music, yeah.
There's no gatekeepers anymore. If you want to listen to some Russian kid pump out some shit techno on YouTube,
which I definitely do.
But you can do that.
Yeah, that's true.
In the 60s, you could not, because he would not get on the radio.
That's true. I think... Yeah, wow, shit Russian techno. There's plenty of that going around. I suppose the mainstream has always been kind of shitty. But there was a time where you could do something weird and still become huge. Whereas I feel like people are a lot... Maybe it's the people that are less receptive to weird. Or maybe it's because, like, the weirdos go off and find their weird shit somewhere else. They don't need it to be exposed to them. They can just find it.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, look at death metal.
Yeah. I was big fan when I was a teenager.
When Sabbath came out, if you... so let's say there's a type of person that likes death metal.
Sure.
There's a type of person that doesn't like death metal.
Certainly.
In the 70s, early 70s, late 60s, if you were the type of person who liked death metal, or who would have if it was around, you'd probably like Sabbath.
Right.
You probably wouldn't be twiddling your thumbs going, nah, it's not heavy enough yet for me.
I'm just going to wait another 20 years.
Yeah. But nowadays, you meet people that love Cannibal Corpse and go, Sabbath? Ugh, no, not for me.
That's weak.
Yeah. But it's now just because there's more options.
Sure.
If there were less options, I'd probably be into it.
So really what's happened there is you've rendered my entire point completely moot.
Have I?
I think you have, because I didn't really spend a whole lot of time considering it, right? I was listening to a bunch of top 40 stuff the other day, and I thought, this all sounds the same to me.
You're right.
Right?
It's all got the millennial whoop.
Yeah, yes, it does.
That's the bit, listener, where someone in the song, and you'll know it a
lot. Whoop.
I was like, oh,
that thing. Yeah, that shit.
It's everywhere.
But no, I guess because like all I thought was just like, this all sounds the same to me. That said, I've just remembered an article I read about a study that determined that the 1980s were the most homogenous decade of music. But that's because all the synthesizers had just come out and they weren't particularly technologically advanced, right? And everybody was just using synthesizers.
I still feel like the 80s had more melody, though.
They were more melodic. It's just that a lot of the songs were vastly more homogenous in the sense that they all used very similar timing, scales, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least they had a melody.
They did.
I would maybe maintain that there isn't a mainstream. Well, the mainstream has never been less relevant.
Yeah, you're right. The mainstream is kind of whatever you want it to be. And this is what I'm saying, is like, you did kind of render my point moot, because it doesn't matter.
No.
It really doesn't matter. Because you can go and find the weird shit you want to listen to. I do that on a daily basis.
Spotify is the mainstream, and Spotify is everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I don't know too many people who flick on the radio in their car versus put on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's listening to the radio at work over their Spotify playlist.
Let me say this. Have you found... So, I think a modern way of recognizing that you listen to weird music is when you don't find it on any streaming service.
I find... albums. I don't find entire artists, but often I'll go, I want to listen to this album.
But there's an album missing?
There's an album missing, and it's because the band changed recording. If you're holding out on Spotify, what are you waiting for? You're not getting a better deal.
No. You're only getting 0.07 cents per listen.
I don't understand what you're withholding this album from Spotify. It's not making you any money currently.
No.
Get on Spotify, you Luddites. Who's not... I don't understand.
The best you can hope for a psychedelic rock album from the early 1960s is a handful of people listening to it. Nobody's going out to buy Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart.
Probably not. No.
The people that want to listen to it have already bought it. Yeah.
But it just annoys me because there'll be a band I like, and it's like, no, this album, they changed record label for this one, and then they went to a different record label.
Yeah, and the 3 albums they released on this label we haven't got because they wouldn't sign an agreement with us. Yeah.
It's like, just get on board. What is the best that you're hoping for?
Yeah, exactly.
Spotify's going to come begging, look, please.
Spotify don't give a shit. Yeah.
Please, we have upwards of 12 people who want to listen to this obscure album. No one cares.
Yeah.
Put it on Spotify.
Put it on Spotify.
You've lost the battle.
You have.
Holding the right to music is worthless now.
It really is.
Get on board.
Get on board.
Even I can be found on Spotify.
Yeah. You can find Tony Besselink on Spotify as a recording artist.
Yes.
He did have some legal troubles with one of his songs.
Yes, I had to remove the song.
There was one song that had to be removed.
For legal reasons.
But,
yes, chuck my name in, and you can listen to the whole 15 minutes or however long it is of my...
It's life-changing stuff. I should say at this point that it really is life-changing stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've listened to Lamentation of the Sausage Lady about 200 times, so I'm helping. But
well,
that's about all I can do.
Yeah, no, I don't expect much more than that.
Yeah. Topic number 3.
Yep. Have you ever noticed that we got phones?
Yeah. We do.
Very observant. But at some point, there's been a point. The phones, they worked for us.
Yes. I feel like this is building up something I'm going to agree with.
The phones worked for us.
Yeah.
And at some point along the line, they have become little traitors in our own pockets. And I don't like that, and I don't like where it's heading.
I want to know exactly what you mean by little traitors in our pockets, because I have thoughts about this as well.
I've got a couple of examples.
Yeah.
I watched Game of Thrones.
Yep.
The phone knew I liked Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And it would say, hey, you might be interested in this article where we discuss all the spoilers, and here they are in the title of the article. Yeah. And I'd be like, fuck off, phone. You're supposed to be working for me.
It's like the algorithm just breaks down at the last step. Yeah. It goes through the whole process. It goes, he likes Game of Thrones. I should send him an article about Game of Thrones. Let's find an article about Game of Thrones. And then it misses the bit where it goes, exclude the ones with spoilers in.
Yeah.
And then just sends you the top result, which is obviously going to be spoilers.
So now, I mean, if someone came up to me and blurted out, I would tell that person, fuck you, you're an arsehole, blah, blah, blah. And I have a device that I charge and pay for in my pocket.
That's supposed to work for you.
It's supposed to work for me, telling me that...
Being an arsehole. Yeah.
So that's one example.
Yep.
The other example, I think, is even worse now.
Okay.
The treacherous phone.
Yeah.
You send me a message.
Yes.
I look at the message. I don't particularly want to respond right now.
Yeah.
My traitorous phone
has told me you've read the text message.
Exactly. It runs off to you and goes, hey, he knows what you said. It's now a waiting game for when he replies. Fuck Fuck off with that bullshit.
Yeah, that's a new feature.
You work for me, phone. You don't work for the people who send me messages.
Yeah.
Well, if that was an assistant, if you had, assistant, hello, can I speak to Mr. Best? Like, no, he's hiding in his office. He doesn't want to speak to you. I would fire the fuck out of that assistant.
Yeah.
But now I have this thing in my phone that more or less does that, and why?
Yeah.
At what point, and we've just sort of been blasé about it, we've just let it happen, but that's fucked. It should work for us.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really hate, like, I get messages that I don't want to respond to, and the best you can do on the PC is click the little notification button and try and make out what the truncated first bit of the message in the notification is.
That's it pops up on your phone. Hey, it's really important that we ...
And then, like, occasionally you can maybe pull down the notification to try and get a bit more of the message, but then you risk clicking on it and going straight to the screen and sending a fucking read receipt.
Yeah.
I just thought of a feature that I could put in the modern smartphone.
Yeah, well...
When
do you want to patent this first? Or?
No, no. Anyone that develops this deserves everything that's coming for them, right? So you occasionally get a phone call you don't want to answer.
Yeah.
You pull out the phone, you look at the screen, you go, "Oh, it's this person. I don't want to answer right now." You mute it, put it back in your pocket when it's still ringing. What about when you pull the phone out of your pocket and look at it? The phone takes a picture and says, "They look at who was calling." And then just muted the ringer and went on with their day.
See, it would be traitorous. Treacherous.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to happen.
Someone do it.
It'll probably happen. So it's like this person didn't genuinely miss your call. This person avoided you.
Avoided your call.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where I think it's heading.
It's the secretary that told the customer that you were hiding in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you fire your phone, though? You can, right? You can buy an old-style phone.
You can buy an old-style phone. You can give up the phone entirely.
But you're a slave. You're a slave to the software companies.
It's still working for you, but it's just like a mole now. It's just...
I completely agree. I completely agree. It's so fucking irritating. I hate that I rely on it so much.
But also, like, the phone will record where you've gone.
Yeah.
It's like... you're sitting there with your partner. Oh, what did you think of the strip club? Fuck off on a phone. What do you...
Go and leave a review on this strip club.
No, I don't. Well, I was just next door. What are you talking about?
They're horrible. It's a horrible place.
But the phone again, just bleeding out secrets.
Yeah, and it does that.
It's like, what did you think of this place that's near your ex's? Will you fuck off with that phone? But just phone. You work for me, all right?
Fuck off with your shit. You work for me.
You work for me. I'm the king. You make my life better. You don't spoil my shows.
Yeah.
You don't tell people I've read their messages. It's your job to work for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Traitors in our own pockets.
Traitors in our own homes, our own pockets.
Yes.
Who knows what they're telling Google about, or anyone?
There was that article recently. Apparently, people with Google Home, Google employees listen to conversations.
Yeah.
It's just... So there's even a spy now.
Yeah, it's just a straight up spy.
Spying on us.
Yeah. Topic number 4 is we're back to the bathroom topics.
Oh, yes.
We're back to the bathroom topics. I said I'd shelve them for a little while.
And then you just couldn't hold on.
I couldn't hold on. Don't do that to me.
You just had to.
You just had to.
Yeah.
But I've encountered something again recently. And this is not something that happens terribly often. But this really plays on my mind a lot. You're in a bathroom. You're inside a stall before this person comes in. So they don't know they know there's somebody there, but they don't know it's you. They come in, they do their business, and they walk out without washing their hands. Right. Now, you got 2 possible situations here. You don't know who it was, right? And then you're in the unfortunate position where you can't shake anybody's hand for the rest of that day.
Yes.
Well, at least all the whatever gender bathroom you're in, right?
Yeah.
You can't, because it's true. You can shake half their hands roughly.
Well, you can't know that everyone in the other gendered bathroom is washing their hands as well.
That's true, but you don't have definitive proof.
Right,
Like,
okay.
if you're letting that level of anxiety get to you, you've got a problem.
You've got plausible deniability.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know they didn't wash their hands. Yeah. You walk out and you know who they were, and then you're in the position of you can be friendly and shake hands with other people if you have to or whatever, but you cannot touch them.
Yes.
And I've had it happen to me that it just so happened I knew who it was that walked out that they didn't wash their hands, went out, and at some point later in the day, a situation arose where I should have shook his hand.
Oh, and you didn't?
I did not.
I
couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
I just couldn't do it.
That is. Yeah, no, I think that is.
But
fair
how
enough.
do you? I don't know how I got away with it. I just pretended not to notice.
I said, what was he arm
It
out?
wasn't like a full extension thing, but it was the kind of situation where I don't know, like it felt like a handshake moment.
Right.
It
felt like a handshake.
He didn't stick his hand out to me, and I just went, "No, thank you." No, it wasn't quite that, but it was like other people were shaking hands around us. Yeah.
Right.
And we sort of looked at each other, and I just didn't extend my arm and hoped that he wouldn't.
How long do you have to wait before?
The germs multiply; they don't divide.
I don't know. They have to wear down eventually.
I don't know, man. He or she has probably been to the bathroom 3 times and not washed their hands because they're a non-hand washer.
But if you saw someone coming out of the desert and like, oh, thank God I've been in the desert for 3 days. Nice to meet you. Are you... I mean, I think
You know what? While it's more likely that they did some gross shit with that hand, I didn't see it firsthand. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know for certain that man isn't a germaphobe and has kept himself squeaky clean somehow 3 days in the desert. That's not the point, right?
All of his drinking water was reserved for hand
washing his hands.
I'm so fucking thirsty, but my hands are clean.
Spotless.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I hate that. That makes me feel like really gross and really anxious. It's just something that keeps happening.
Yeah.
It keeps happening. And I always think...
It keeps happening.
It happens to me once a week, at least.
Once a week?
Once a week, I'm in a bathroom and somebody walks out without washing their hands. The most brazen ones will come out of a stall while you're washing your hands and just walk out, right? That's happened to me a handful of times too. I could never do that. Could you walk out of a stall and just walk past someone washing their hands and leave? No.
Not unless I was like a stall inspector and I didn't do anything and I just
If you came out with a pen and a clipboard and went, oh yes, that one was quite clean, then fine, walk out.
Yeah.
Right? Other than that, you're washing your hands because I
Yes.
don't want that person to think I'm a fucking freak.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I've had people look me dead in the eyes and walk out without washing their hands. The one I hate the most is the cursory wash. It's those sinks where you hit the button and the sink's on for like 3 seconds. It's just like they tap it so lightly it's on for like a quarter of a second. They might have caught some drops on the edge of their fingers and they go, good enough, and they walk out. It's like it's a platitude to everybody in the stalls being like, yeah, all right, I washed my hands.
Being a country boy as I am, there have been situations where there has been no opportunity.
Do you know how hard of a sell the fact that you're a country boy is?
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
They say you can take the boy out of the country.
But not the country out of the boy. The country is definitely out of you.
But I was a country boy.
Yeah.
And I have been in situations where there are no options to wash your hands. I've not washed my hands.
Well, sure.
But when the possibility is there, I always take that possibility.
Do you take any extra precautions when you know there's no situation to wash your hands?
I try and touch it very lightly.
I try
deft fingers.
I try to go no contact with anything but my waistband.
Right.
Yeah. That's a bit of a circus act.
I do. Yes, I do try and take precautions.
Yeah. Good. So that's nice. Unfortunately, nobody can actually know that about you unless they listen to this or they ask. But
well, I'm not in that position very often
you're
anymore.
A functional member of society. I think that's one of the key things. It's just like have respect for other people's feelings as well. In the minutest sense. If I walk out of this bathroom not having washed my hands, somebody may go around the rest of the day wondering who I am, and I shouldn't do that to my fellow man.
No, you should not.
I think it's a core part of functional society to have people that think about other people in terms like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't, do they?
No.
Wash your hands, because it makes me anxious. Don't do it because you might get sick or anything like that. Do it because it makes me anxious.
Yes.
Please. And people like me, not just me. I don't want to seem selfish.
number 5.
Topic number 5.
Now, Thanasi.
Yes, Tony.
We've built this podcast.
Yes.
It's doing all right.
Yeah, it's doing okay.
But
and share and favourite and share.
Have you ever stopped to think, what if something were to happen to one of us? How would we continue to keep this empire we've had growing? I've been doing some thinking. I think we should take out life insurance.
What's that going to solve?
I just want to ask, was that a natural conversation? Did that
That was
sound...
absolutely not a natural conversation.
That did not sound natural, did it?
No.
No. And you've seen these ads on television, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Now, television is full of natural conversations.
Yes.
What is it about these life insurance ads that they have not cracked how to figure out how to record a natural conversation?
A couple, like, trying to agree on, we should get health insurance.
Yeah. There are
Great idea, darling.
Every day there are thousands of hours of scripted, natural-sounding conversations.
Yeah.
None of these people have managed to, like, consult on a life insurance ad and sort of get them
The tone right.
Yeah.
It's even worse with the funeral insurance ads.
Oh, yeah, funeral cover, yeah.
Funeral cover, the ads are insane. It's like two old people having tea, and they're going like, I was thinking the other day, our children may not be able to afford to make arrangements for when we have passed away.
I'm sorry, I asked, can you pass the butter?
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know, like what? Maybe it's more difficult than we're giving credit for. Maybe it's easier to sort of say
do you want to do a life insurance ad practice?
Let's do a funeral cover. Let's do
funeral cover.
Right, okay. So we are natural old people.
Natural old people. Mid-afternoon, Saturday.
Yep.
Oh, Mary, I haven't been feeling that well recently.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
I don't know. I just I feel like I'm going to die soon. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to do that. There's no way I couldn't do that. That was the perfect setup.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking from the character of Mary. I wanted to say, do you want to go see a doctor? Not, would you like to get funeral cover?
Yeah, so maybe I'm not as onto it as you thought I was. This is hard. We didn't give them enough credit. It is still really annoying. Though. It is. And funny.
It is funny. It's annoying. I don't know. Why? I mean, we're not professionals.
That's true.
Whether or not we can't make it work, it really has no bearing on anything.
I think if we spent more than 30 seconds trying to come up with it on the spot, we might be able to come up with something.
Yeah, we're not improvisers.
No.
Well,
I mean, we kind of improvise this whole show.
Yeah, but not well.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I don't know. What about, all right, I'll tell you what, for next episode...
Let's write an insurance ad.
We'll each write one, and we'll bring it, and we'll read them out.
We'll see who's the most...
naturalistic funeral/insurance cover ad.
Like life insurance.
Life insurance, yeah.
Well, should you do one and I'll do the other?
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
You want to do funeral, I'll do life?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Right. No worries.
Naturalistic conversation, and we'll give the script to each other so that we can
practice it.
Yeah, read it out.
We're going to do an insurance ad.
And it's going to sound like fucking...
gold. It's going to sound like Herbert and Mary have actually known each other for 55 years and have been married and shared a life together.
Actually, and we don't have to. It can even be Hollywood-esque.
Yeah, just finely detailed.
Just something that doesn't stick out like a sore thumb.
It's not just like, well, the doctor said I only have 6 months to live and we definitely can't afford a funeral.
But it's always, they drop the conversation in at the strangest moment. It's like,
they do. It always comes out of nowhere.
Man, this house is good and you've done a good job with the painting. Thanks. Have you considered life insurance? What do you mean?
You're not going to be around forever, old man.
This paint isn't going to... I mean, who's going to do the next coat?
This paint's outliving you, buddy.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know.
I also just find those ads offensive, in a sense.
How so?
Just... nobody is ever that happy when they reach the point where they're considering life insurance, and I feel like the people that have gotten through that in their lives are going to look at that and be like, you guys are assholes, right? And what's even worse is, and that company in particular, they started calling me when I turned 21. Every 6 months, have you considered life insurance?
Yeah.
Right?
And were they not as unnatural as they were on the...
It was just like, I'm such and such from so-and-so, real life insurance. We're ringing around today to see if people are interested in life insurance, right?
That is scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it was literally just like, we want you to buy our insurance. There was no setup, there was nothing, not even a platitude.
But in their crazy world, they were probably expecting people to be like, you know what, I was just having this conversation earlier today with my wife.
Yeah, that is their world.
Let's get what?
That's the only world they believe in.
But what assets do you have that you need?
Nothing.
At 21...
A PlayStation.
Yeah, we don't want to lose that.
Yeah, I had a cheap car at that point as well.
Right,
that was it.
Yeah, no one depends on you. No,
and I can't afford their $7 a week. At that point in my life, I'm not working. I'm living off Centrelink or whatever.
Yeah,
my life's not worth anything.
It's not worth insuring.
No, right?
It's not going to be a burden for anyone that needs to.
I remember when I said to that lady, that's a little grim. Like, I literally said, I don't intend to die anytime soon. And she said, well, accidents can happen, kind of thing. And I just hung up on her. The gall!
Well,
she's just like, yeah, I know I could step out in front of a bus tomorrow and die, but what I just said is not that I'm not going to die for a long time. I have no intention of dying for a long time.
I think the better line would have been, listen, my life really isn't worth insuring right now.
Yeah. I'll try that next time if I ever get a call from them. I had to tell insurance salespeople on 3 separate occasions when I was buying car insurance, health insurance, and some contents insurance that, like, you need to just relax, right? I'm going to call you back in half an hour until I've sat down and thought about this. Because they're sitting there, it's just like, buy, what are you doing? Buy now, your shit might burn down behind you and you're not even noticing,
How can you tell that your other room is not on fire right now?
Your car could be getting into an accident as we speak, Yeah.
I find, like, if you live a life without nice things, you're kind of set.
That's true.
If your house is decked out from Big W, does it need protection? No. You just waltz back into Big W the day after you've been robbed, pop down a grand.
Buy more shit.
Replace everything. Yeah, so that's
it. Send us an email, thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com.
Have we got any emails yet?
No. But we'll get one if we keep asking for them, I'm sure. Might be telling us to fuck off with asking for an email. But Facebook.com/hiddenagendapodcast.
Yep.
Find us on wherever you find us and share us, though.
Yes.
That's what we want. Go like our page on Facebook. Send us an email, even if it just tells us to fuck off.
Tell your friends.
Even
if it's just to tell them to fuck off.
Yeah. Just
no, that doesn't work for that.
No, tell them to fuck off. Just put a link to the podcast at the bottom.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
share our page, like our page and all that.
Yeah. And thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
coming along this inane bullshit ride.
It is. I would call it a journey, but that would just be false.
A journey has an end point and often a reason for journeying.
Yeah, we're not ever going to run out of shit.
This is a meander.
This is the slow march towards death.
We've killed an afternoon, and you have as well, listener.
Bye-bye.
See ya.